San Antonio trying to make the NBA Finals for the 5th time. If they can sweep Memphis tonight, 9 Eastern on ESPN, what do you think the Grizzlies have to do to avoid the sweep?
Well, first of all, somebody's got to step up in terms of Zach Randolph. You know that he cannot do anything with his right hand. He doesn't use his right hand. Even if he goes right, he's ultimately coming back to his left. That's just the kind of player that he is. It works against most teams, but against his team, is savvy, is intelligent, as gifted as the San Antonio Spurs, as experienced as the San Antonio Spurs. That's simply not going to cut it. You're talking about Zach Randolph going against one of the greatest players of all time, and unquestionably the greatest power forward of all time, even though sometimes he plays center. And we're talking about Tim Duncan here. That's not going to work against a Tim Duncan. So even though you see Marc Gasol putting up decent numbers and you see Zach Randolph getting his share of rebounds, he hasn't been able to really create any fluidity or develop any fluidity or consistency with his shot because of who is defending him, and that would be Tim Duncan. You look at Tony Parker, he's their best player. He's been balling. When you've got overtime approaching and you got a chance to ward it off, if you're the Memphis Grizzlies, and the number you call is Mike Conley, then you know there's a problem, because even though he's a stellar point guard and he can play, he's not a closer. He's not that go-to guy. The fact that they ended up going to him at the end of regulation in Game 3 tells you all you need to know. They don't really have a closer, particularly in this series, a money man to go to deliver the goods. And that's why, in all likelihood, they're going to get swept. I'm shocked I'm saying it because, remember, I thought they'd win this series, but Zach Randolph and Marc Gasol have basically been stripped of any kind of potency, and Mike Conley has been outplayed by Tony Parker. And the bench that the San Antonio Spurs has outplayed the Memphis Grizzlies. In the end, and Memphis seems in over their head, and San Antonio seems to just be cruising along like they have been prepared for this moment for a long time. And obviously, being 4-time champions, they most certainly are.